All right, and welcome into the October 22nd, episode 36 version, I guess, of the company.
Or episode.
The fuck?
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't sound right if I said episode.
You said like 36, and it's like the October 36? Like,
or edition.
October 22nd, 36 episode.
Or volume.
Yeah.
Can
we get a redo for Brian?
Redo, running back. Shoop, 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 shoop.
Anyway, we got
And play.
down here going from my left to the right. Got Sosa. We got damn.
Fuck, man.
We got Sosa, Jay, Izzo, Rick, and I'm Brian.
Are you?
This dude's a scroll.
Just, go ahead and pass that over to somebody else, man.
You said what?
Nothing.
Go ahead and pass those privileges over to someone else. We're gonna eject you out the room.
Anyway, so another week has passed. Everybody had an okay week. Everybody did everything they wanted to do. Got shit done.
Didn't die.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I made it out of the. I made it out of the Midwest and the true South of the United States, all in one piece. So
Are you in the South that doesn't like you?
I mean, they still got the Confederate flag as part of their state flag, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah, they don't like you.
Hey, real talk, I met these dudes from Mississippi, and they told me I wasn't Southern.
Really?
I'm not even joking. My man, I told him I was Southern, and Buddy said, "Wait, here in South Carolina?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "No," and that was the conversation.
Because you don't need roadkill, I guess. I don't know.
To be honest, though, he's kind of right because they deep water backwoods south.
He said we wasn't South, we're Eastern.
Yeah, southeast.
I was like, that's exactly what I said.
Thank you.
You said he was from
Mississippi.
Yeah, leave him alone. Let them say what they want.
I was about to say, I think that's the only time I'd be like, you know what? I'll let you have that one.
I'll let you have it. That's all yours.
But can you read?
Not in Mississippi, they don't.
Anyway, so I went to the fair yesterday. And we all know what time of the year it is, so we really don't have seasons here in the fall in the South. We're in the South right now. So, but yesterday, I swear I was going through some things. It was probably 40 degrees when I got there, and all of a sudden it was 95, and then it went back down to 40.
So extreme. No, it was not.
It was that
motherfucker's tripping. He lying, y'all.
extreme. Just I don't think they get used to it. There's something different about this fall, and I don't trust it.
You talking about the fall weather or your blood pressure?
It might be both.
Oh my god.
I don't trust it. I don't like it. I don't know how I'm going to adjust. So
you've been here 40 years. What are you talking about?
Oh wow.
Ooh.
35. I'm sorry. 35.
You're an old man too.
Yeah, it was just weird to me, and it's just I think that was just awkward for this time of the year. We don't usually get cold weather until what? Maybe mid-November,
December.
No, we normally have chillier Halloweens.
I was about to say, it gets cool like right.
It depends the time of year though, honestly.
Because we always pick on people for being like naked for Halloween downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I did see y'all boots with the fur on it yesterday, and that shocked me.
My
I was kind of talking to myself.
With the fur.
Last year was odd though, because last year he's right. Last year was like end of November before it got chilly.
Yeah, last year was an anomaly. You are right about that.
Because like the kids could wear their full costumes. I saw kids with the full costumes, where usually they got a jacket over their costumes for Halloween.
Yeah, they're just out there doing their Frozen thing.
Right.
Let it go.
So, it just depends on the year. That's why I'm like, y'all lived here a long time, so it's pretty much the same thing every other year. From what I think this year's probably gonna be a good one.
In the past, we've had our snaps. I mean, we had the we call it a blizzard here a few years ago.
So like with all 3 inches.
Yeah.
That sounded weird.
I know.
Jesus Christ! Can I get a comma somewhere in there? Oh.
An ellipsis.
Because we're not. I don't think we'll ever be really prepared or used to a real winter.
Nah.
I've already heard my few northern people saying, "Oh, it's not cold. This ain't cold.
It ain't."
You know,
Sorry.
Yeah, you was one of them.
Who?
Oh, but Izzo's been in New York in the middle of fucking February.
Yeah, it was January.
Then he went to Chicago in like
March.
January.
Dang, did I go to those places in 1 month? No, I did
Yeah.
not.
It seemed like it though.
It seemed like it. I mean,
Every other day, Izzo was jet setting. Like,
yeah.
Izzo, where you at?
Home. Oh. What did you just say? Oh, yeah.
Brother, I'm just glad you made it back from Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, I did go to the South Side. Went to a museum and a coffee shop. And there were some questionable individuals. What's that?
They have a mural of R. Kelly out there.
No. The fuck?
Oh my God.
We went to Chicago and they had like R. Kelly in the fountain, like a big statue.
Oh my God.
And look,
Oh my God.
I can't wait for y'all to visit with me so I could take you and
So
you say that shit.
Oh, I can't wait to go. I'm ready. I'm ready to go back. I love
You never visit a home state with somebody from you never visit your homeboy home state because they don't take you around the populated areas.
Oh,
They take you around and they know.
Sosa gonna have me.
You gonna stop by my homeboy Pootsy house real quick.
I'm
No.
like,
you looking twice everywhere.
Thank God Cabrini Green is gone.
Hold on, you can't wear that shirt.
Shout
You
out to
gotta
the Greens.
If I can't wear my red shirt anywhere I want to, I don't want to be there.
You can't do that right here. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was about to say, ain't too many places you can anymore, which is weird.
Just wear your letters, you'll be all right.
Nope.
It's too much
So
blue in that.
I know we got a script, but I kind of wanted to talk about something early on in the show.
All right,
Well, go ahead.
I think we got our perfect example of too many fat people in one area.
Whoa.
Huh?
At Clemson.
Oh.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody saw this story. I know y'all saw it because we were talking about it before the show. But there was a Greek led organization. I don't want to mention them because we might have to pay them royalties or something. Come on, son.
Fuck them.
Right. Not Brian Rich, you dumb.
Ain't nobody shit.
That threw a party.
Just say they shimmy a lot.
They threw a party. Was it an apartment complex?
No, it was a house. I don't know if that was their frat house or what.
It was
Nah, it was an apartment complex.
It was a house.
It was a house.
Nah, they said it was a
You
clubhouse.
only get
of an
certain
apartment
Greeks.
Oh.
You only get certain Greek houses. Let's not forget.
So it
Yeah,
was an apartment complex, and apparently it looked like there were too many people there already.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't know why anybody said, we'll walk up to the door and be like, oh, this party packed, I'm going in. I'd have been like, I'll be outside. So party's going on. They named the song that was playing, but I can't remember what it was.
By Chief Keef, I believe.
It was Chief. Yeah.
I don't like.
No, I wouldn't that, which would have been hilarious.
Love Sosa.
What?
Oh.
Everybody
Bitches love Sosa. That song.
Fuck that dude, man.
Jumping at the same time. And
Yeah.
somewhere around the 5th and 6th jump, the floor said, fuck it.
Hey.
And everybody fell through the floor.
Nobody died, by the way.
Nobody died. A few people did get hurt, of course. I mean, that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then they had that one guy who landed on his feet. That guy's amazing. But it was the craziest thing. I've been to a lot of parties like that. I've been to a lot of Greek parties. And I never experienced anything like that. You know, I felt the floor move.
Right.
You know, do a little pulsating thing. And I left because I was like, I'm not dying here. But that was just nuts. And it's just one of them situations where we can see something or we know something's about to happen and we just keep going because we don't know how to stop doing shit. I'm pretty sure somebody said stop jumping.
You know what that reminds me of? When you parking lot pimping, like at a club late at night, and you just get that weird vibe, like I think they about to start shooting, and you leave, and then you find out the next day they did. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, is our Spidey sense broken? I know we have it.
No, can I say something about this? Because you guys said it in the chat earlier, and you said how Clemson doesn't have a lot of black people.
Well, it's way more than it was when I was applying for schools. That's why I decided,
But it's still not that much, is it?
No, not compared to like USC and like other schools around the state. No.
So it's not a healthy population, is what I'm saying.
No, and while you do that, I'll try to look it up. Matter of fact,
okay.
Go ahead.
Because so I went to New Mexico State, and you could pretty much say the same thing about the black population at the time. It was whites, Mexicans / Hispanics, Native Americans, black people. And after you guys said it and I thought about it, I was like, yo, my people used to be real excited when they saw each other because there wasn't really a lot on campus. There was a lot, but not a healthy enough. I say not a healthy enough population.
So
when you see a party like that, everybody's fucking going. And then, of course, they're going to bring us along because, well, fuck it, we're cool. So all of a sudden, you got 150 people in a 3-bedroom apartment. Fuck it. That's what happens. Hey, and I actually remember a party like that, but we didn't go into the rooms, but we was like pretty much hanging off the fucking balconies. But we didn't care because we was having fucking fun. It was one of those, this is not safe, but again, the party was fucking off the chain. So I'm just thinking maybe that's what was going on. Everybody is having a good time, and fuck it, we don't see people like this a lot, so I don't know.
Hey, I got the breakdown real quick of Clemson.
What is it, like 5 people?
No, Clemson. You got to remember, there's a football team, bro. Clemson is 82.9% white, 6.8% black, 3.5% Hispanic, Latino, 2.4% Asian. I actually brought up USC real quick. USC is 76.7% white, 10.2% African American, 4% Hispanic, 2.3% Asian, and then the rest are kind of just 2 or more races. So they allowed them to pick different races is 3.2.
So that backed up my statement. And
yeah,
not a lot of parties be jumping like that. Fuck it.
Hey man, literally jumping like that. Hey, but it speaks to the segregation up there though, because you didn't see one white person. I didn't even really see one good light-skinned person in that party.
Nah, there was white. I know somebody said that. So
you had to look at it from another angle.
The 3 videos I saw, there was no white people.
Help me, Lord.
Oh wow! I'll be right back.
Wasn't that one that had his hand up, the first one to go down?
Why the white guy got to be the first one to go down?
Hey, listen, I'm not saying he caused it. All I'm saying is the hole opened up under him.
Hey, we opened the floodgates.
Hey, you know what? Here's the most unique thing about that whole thing is that, like, when the floor broke, halfway through the lights came on. So I was like, how did someone time that?
Man,
that's pretty good.
It's like the lights
timing. Think about this, and it had to happen because people were back and forth off the floor. Right. Imagine you in the middle of the floor and you're like, "Oh, I gotta use the bathroom." Leave the floor, go to the bathroom, do your business, wash your hands, come out, and everybody's gone.
Thanos was here.
Exactly. It's like a big hole, and everybody's gone. Like, damn it, I missed the rapture.
You guys, I had to piss.
Like, what happened? I mean, that's just tragic.
I just think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's tragic, but I just think I get it. You know, back then I get it.
But
yeah, and then somebody's gonna have to pay. I mean, they're gonna blame this on the Greek organization because I'm pretty sure this was an unsanctioned party, just like all the other parties that Greeks throw. So it'll be on them. They'll get suspended from the campus. Somebody gonna get sued. the apartment's they're gonna come up with all this stuff that the apartment wasn't up to code and blah blah blah. But you never expect 600 people to jump up and down on the top floor of your apartment complex.
Yeah, like I don't care if it was code or not. It's not designed for that.
No, it's not.
And it looked like there was nothing under the floor. Like it was just standing on like plywood.
Yeah, you saw that?
Because that's exactly what they're standing on.
Yeah, and then they went straight down to the basement.
Bad.
They went straight to hell. That's where they went. Because I'm pretty sure stuff's happening.
Did you see the dude on the news? I don't know if it's like Dateline or where it was, but he was walking with the news reporter and he was talking like it was a damn war scene or something. He was like, man, it was crazy. I mean, it was just not death, but there was just injuries and hurt people everywhere. It was crazy.
You know what? I guarantee they interviewed 5 or 6 people.
Right.
And they couldn't find anybody ignorant.
Right.
There was probably one guy, you see the structure of the building and the integrity was it was compromised, and the force, weight versus inertia, and they were like, no, we ain't using this motherfucker.
This motherfucker it's an agricultural school, so they were probably like, if it had more greenery around there, it wouldn't have fallen through.
Roots went under the house. And they looked for the dude that wasn't even at the party, that was standing on the street corner. Bring him over here.
They're looking for a sweet brown. They ain't gonna find out.
But tragic. I had a.
No, it's not. I mean, you want to say tragic, but it's not. It's being dumb. You jumping up and down the middle of an apartment complex with a subfloor made of plywood. Come on, like
Sosa, what are you doing?
At some point, you just got to be like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. But like I was saying before, I mean, at some point, when do you start paying attention to your instincts? Because we all know when something bad going to happen.
I mean,
so situation. Y'all think anybody was sober there?
I'm sure there were sober people.
You get caught up in the moment. Well, I just answered my question. You get caught up in the moment.
That's what I was said earlier. I mean,
don't be dumb. Nah, that.
I mean, they just came off a stupid win, right? They were crunk.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then on top of that,
they played a team that was highly overrated. Like I was just like, don't put money on NC State. I told everybody.
What?
Speaking of a win, man. Oh, y'all not watching NFL. Never mind.
I actually did see it because I was in the gym.
Yo, my Panthers came back. Well, they did 0. It was 17-0, and they came back 21 unanswered points to win that game.
Yep.
Are they guarding our Cam again, or are they letting people whoop his ass on the field still?
Oh, they let him get hit.
Yeah, he get hit, but he ain't getting hit as much. And he beefed up,
man.
He's a big dude, and he beefed up a little bit too. He's been running over some players, like treating them like they JV high school players.
Damn.
Walter Hartwell White. I live in 308.
Those are some big skinny jeans he wears, though.
What is that?
Say what? Say what now? Sosa did what?
Cut the TV on.
I heard in the background.
Oh,
Walter White.
You know what? Since I brought up the NFL, man, did y'all so Rihanna and Amy Schumer? Did you hear about them?
Oh, about them not wanting to do it.
I applaud
because of especially Amy Schumer. I saw her tweet or release statement. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Somebody else bowed out too, besides them two.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, was it Ashanti or somebody like that?
What were they bowing
out? Nobody give a fuck about Ashanti.
Yeah, I do.
She's done. 24 tickets to her concert.
Yeah, but here's the twist, though. Here's the twist. Originally, it was supposed to be Tiana Taylor, and they dropped Tiana Taylor, so people weren't paying attention. And then for some reason, they still were going to hold a concert and then put on Ashanti. So that's the part that nobody's really reporting.
Oh, okay. So it's not that she's trash.
Exactly. Because Ashanti ain't doing bad out here when it comes to chicks.
No, I didn't think she was.
Yeah, that's what they didn't. I read the original article, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Ashanti didn't sell nothing." That's all it was. Because Tiana Taylor's hot. That's what people are going for, and she fits that demographic. Ashanti's more like when we were in college versus those kids.
I remember to say that. I remember when I went out. I forgot where I went. I think it was Baton Rouge, where they had like the 2000s concert. They had like Ashanti and Ja Rule there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, apparently they must be doing something, right?
Yeah, they still like meet up and tour together. They getting checks.
Yeah. I don't know about Ja Rule, but I know Ashanti's still touring.
Ja Rule does stuff with her. I've noticed that. On his own, I have no clue.
Man, ruined his
And
career.
is it the show? I don't know if it was a show or Rhyme and Reason, but one of those two documentaries taught us that you go on tour, you make all that money. Like, that's your money. So, yeah, these people keep going on tour, they getting it.
Mm-hmm. I think they do better when they tour overseas, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, hip hop, we love hip hop here, but we don't respect the artists as much as they do overseas.
Oh,
Go
absolutely.
over there and make a killing. Redman goes over there. He always talking about body bag. We body bag Brussels. And I mean, yeah.
They say it's a different type of money over there. They appreciate stuff. They appreciate all types of music, not just hip hop. They appreciate everything. We're just creatures of the moment, and we toss people away.
I mean, think about it. I'm gonna show my age here, but when Biggie came to Florence,
oh shit, he came to
they
Florence?
robbed Biggie.
Oh wow,
when
they robbed him.
Yeah, when
we
Pac
weren't used to shit back then.
When Pac came to Florence, they threw a chair at Pac.
Oh,
what? What's up with y'all Florence people, bro?
What's wrong with y'all, man?
They don't know how to act. PD people just nuts.
So it's y'all fault that we can't get good hip hop down here in South Carolina.
Goddamn corridor of shame.
Y'all had that flag down here. That's why y'all couldn't get nobody.
What you talking about, y'all?
Wait, like, weren't you part of that?
He talking y'all like you
This
ain't
is
from
like
here.
this is a whole goddamn state, bro.
Yeah, it's like
I did.
Florence ain't your own like state out there sitting. I mean,
You say that y'all the reason, blah blah blah. Ain't it the same statement?
well, no, it's
No,
not because
we're not
one, nah, it's not. No, it's not because y'all in that sense is like he went to a location and y'all messed it up.
yeah.
And the other is like on the State House grounds, which represents everybody. So it's that's different.
Yeah.
That's right. And you proved my point before I said the point because you said that Florence people done beat up Biggie and threw a chair at Tupac.
Brian was probably in the middle of that shit.
He probably was.
With his
Skinny Brian with a high top fade was fighting.
Oh man, he had dreads. And you remember the scene in Boondocks when they throw the first chair?
Oh, that's epic.
Them threw the first chair.
I was, yeah. Which one of y'all?
Not only did we win the argument, we got Brian crying.
Anyway, yeah, it's just different. I guess it's different. I would like to go to a concert overseas because I know they have a completely different performance for people who actually enjoy and respect the performance.
Man, I don't know.
Listen, the concert Beyonce and Jay-Z put on down here in Columbia, I promise you that's a different performance in London.
Oh yeah. It's like that when they hit the off beaten path places. So if they went to Orlando, people like Orlando's big, but I'm like, yeah, but it ain't Atlanta, it ain't Miami, it ain't New York, it ain't DC. Yeah, I don't think people understand that.
It was a completely different performance when they went to Atlanta, and that's right next door. They had 6 or 7 more acts with them.
Wow. Oh yeah, exactly.
On stage, did it happen here? Happened in Atlanta.
I guess. I don't know.
But moving on. All right, y'all. It's almost time to vote.
Yes, it is. Y'all niggas ready?
No. I mean, well, y'all can't do early voting.
I mean, you can. We just talk about in a general sense.
Almost time. You can vote now.
Yeah, I probably will do that.
Just so I can get an idea. I'm gonna go to the polls and.
No, sorry. I'm gonna do a little more reading and then go ahead and cast my vote because there's no sense of waiting 3-4 hours to do my
Not
thing.
at all.
Believe
Not
me,
at all.
4 hours down here.
Oh, for midterms, you're right. Presidential, different story.
Yeah. Anybody not voting?
That ain't option.
That's not us. And if we did, we would clown them the rest of the night.
Oh yeah, I'm shaming.
My parents already talking that shit, so we all going.
Making a family. Get in the car.
I know a couple people that said they're not doing it just because, and they gave me this long reason why they're not voting.
Did it sound like the trumpets, like when a teacher starts talking and Charlie Brown, like
I normally shut off my ears when people do that type of stuff too.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
what was their reasoning? Said both sides are really the only people
that's tiresome.
it really doesn't matter. And I'm like, if it didn't matter, why are they doing all this stuff in these states, like in Georgia?
Thank you.
The suppression and holding people's votes and stopping this bus full of old people trying to go do early voting. Why are they doing all this to stop people voting? So
hold on.
Who got all?
Say that one more time.
Nothing.
What are they doing in Georgia?
Voter suppression.
Yeah, they're I know it was that in Georgia where they stopped the bus full of elderly people.
Yeah, it is, but that wasn't the full extent what I was going to talk about. But that is.
Yeah, one of the things they stopped them from going to vote and made up some reason to turn their bus around and held them up for this long period of time. And they're
just because they were old
Black people. It was a state-ran nursing home or like senior facility they were at, and they used the excuse that they couldn't use, I guess, that bus to go to a political event. But it's like nobody told those people who they could vote for, so that's just them being taken to a poll. That's not a political event; it's them getting taken to vote.
Yeah.
Now, if they were going to a rally, that'd be a whole different story.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then other things. Explain the other stuff. If you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So Georgia, this year is a gubernatorial election. For people who don't know what that means they have their spot for governor is up for election this year. So there is a Democrat by the name of Stacey Abrams, who actually ran and got the nomination. I don't know if anybody remembers, but early this year, on a slick tip, the Republican put up a Democrat by another name of Stacey to confuse people to vote for that person. That's another story that I didn't even think about until I started reading this. But the person who she's going against on the Republican side is Brian Kemp. He's actually the Georgia Secretary of State right now. And the reason that there's a big brouhaha or whatever you want to call it going on is that since 2012, more than about 200 precincts were closed around the state in various locations, mostly rural locations that when people dug deeper were normally heavily Black. And they said that equated to about 8% of the vote. So when I was reading about it, I'm like, wait a minute. The Secretary of State is somebody who directly affects that type of thing. And this is the guy who's running for governor of that state on the Republican side. So that's been the big thing going on. And they're actually doing federal investigations on that, trying to figure out why the hell that even happened. Like 200 precincts got closed in rural areas.
That's
so, like, what do y'all think? Is it a coincidence? I mean, I know y'all answer.
No, this is stuff that they've been doing. This is stuff that they've been doing for decades.
Yeah,
that's a big number too, man.
200. Oh yeah, I forgot. We'll add one thing. So this is what kicked it off. So they said since the last gubernatorial election, I don't know if that was 2014. I should have researched that part. So I'm guessing they go for 4 years. They said voter registration has jumped. No, vote totals, I guess, in primaries and everything else has jumped 200%. So they're knowing people who normally don't vote are voting. And just to be honest with you, I don't know if y'all follow a lot of elections. I do. Most deep red areas vote all the time. But the people in the middle and the left, they're kind of lackadaisical. So when it jumps, it normally jumps to the Democrats. So they saw that, and this is why they're doing what they do. Y'all thoughts?
This is stuff that's been going on, like I said, for decades. And
yeah, this is
like they're just blatantly doing it now because they know, to be honest with you, nothing's going to happen. Those 200 precincts are going to be closed, and that's that. Right. They're not going to open them back up just because we automatically know about it now, or just because we mysteriously know about it now.
The only way it'll change though is if another person who's against that kind of policy gets in office. That's the only way it'll change. But yeah, if the power struggle continues the way that it is, they ain't opening it back up. You're right.
Oh yeah.
No, and this is what's deterring people, because when you do stuff like this, and people who lived in those areas hear stuff like that, like, oh, they don't want us to vote anyway. It ain't gonna matter because they're just gonna lose our vote. And then that stuff kind of works in and then makes the numbers go lower. So
nobody gonna take my damn right. I'm sorry. Like if
Nah.
we all got to get in the goddamn car and go like 60 miles, god dang it, I'm gonna make time to do it. Like, of course, I'm gonna fight for it, but at the same time, like just for instance, like my grandmother, who's 70, turned 79 at the end of this month. She has worked the polls pretty much since my mom could remember, just for the fact that, you know, that's not one of those things they were blessed to be able to even do. So that's one of the reasons I vote, just to put it out there. But that's one of those things. If they ever closed it in the area she lives in, which is pretty much 99.9% black, I know what's going on in South Carolina. Yep. So that if I ever see that happen, I know the bullshit is happening here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about what people went through. I think one of the most quote unquote famous pictures of somebody being lynched with like kids looking up at him and smiling. It was this guy who was actually helping people of color and minorities get to the polls and vote. That's what they did, you know, and it wasn't even a scare tactic. They just flat out killed you.
Yep.
You know, and nobody went to jail. Nobody got in trouble. They shot him. That's what it was. They shot him in the middle of the street. Nobody said anything, even though everybody saw it. They shot this man in cold blood in the middle of the street, then hung him, and then burned him.
Wow.
And you're going to sit here and tell me that you can't take 5 minutes out of your day or an hour, however long it takes to vote, to just go and cast a ballot just out of respect for the people that came before you to do this. And it wasn't just black folk. It was poor white folk who needed the same thing as black folk, you know, and it was Latinos and it was Native Americans. Nobody wanted these people voting because they needed stuff and they knew the only way to get what they needed was to vote. So you can take that little time out, man.
Absolutely.
That's exactly how I feel, bro. Exactly how I feel. Like I don't even, I know this sounds bad. I should respect everybody's view, but when somebody gives me that, well, I shut that shit down and I tell them like my story. I tell them about, you know, how my parents, you know, seeing crosses burnt across the fields and shit, you know, where their parents got to get them in a house. So like, just because they're trying to scare these people. So you got the right to go out there and show your power, but you chose to sit your ass down, or you passed probably the voting, the poll, because it's going to be in your area and you choose not to stop because it's an inconvenience to you. Okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of people go through life like that and they just vote and they just like being miserable. They have an opportunity to change something and they don't because they'll lose that reason to complain.
I think a lot of people don't they don't follow the platforms the way that they should. So they're ignorant about who's stepping up for what and who's trying to change what or what's policy is there. So it's like, how can they vote if they're ignorant to the platform? You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
but you got to be thirsty for knowledge too. Don't let it just be fed to you. I know everybody doesn't have that drive, but it does bother me when people go, it's almost hell. The Fox News generation right now we're running through. They're believing everything that's getting put in front of them. They're eating it. And it's like, yo, that dude's just feeding y'all lies and everybody on there feeding you lies. And I guess when it comes to the middle and the left, a lot of that isn't easily, I guess, digested because it's a lot more information that's not dumbed down. So people kind of get lazy and then close their ears. But on Fox News, I'm not going to lie, it's the dumbed down shit. That's why people eat it.
Oh, man. Once you start, once you actually try to get facts and realize stuff and you start thinking about human condition and the way people act and the way money works and all that stuff, and you watch Fox News, you kind of just sit there like they are really saying this on television. And people are, like you said, eating it up.
They make it so simple. Like your president makes it so simple. Like what he says, it's like, I don't want to take up all the damn time, but like just before you post the link and we got on air, I was looking at this thing on CNN that what's his name? Anderson Cooper has this segment called Keeping Them Honest. And like he was talking about that damn wall again. It's like, oh, we spent 1.6 billion last year. We spent 1.6 billion this year. We'll spend 1.6 billion last year. We got the wall going. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of money because we need more money. They have not started building no goddamn wall. All they've done is make improvements to the wall that's been built. So when they flipped back to Anderson went, yeah, the wall has been built. They just made improvements to the new one, not to the new improvement to the previous one, and no section of this so-called wall has ever been built. And like they could go to Homeland Security and like dig up that fact so easy. But the thing is, people just don't do it. They just go by whatever somebody says and tells them, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. And then now they're scaring people with this caravan supposed to be heading towards.
Yes, I was watching that, but I don't even want to talk about
that.
And they, you know the way they painting it, they making it seem like, you know what, they put the idea of like Mad Max over Thunderdome heading towards the border.
They are. They got the drones in the air showing this long stretch of people like they're coming. No, they're not. This is what happens all the damn time.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm thinking of like motorcycles and people with masks on and somebody with a guitar on top of the thing. Just, mediocre. It's probably just people like, we need help. Can you help
us? That's it. They're saying
all
there's MS-13, there's Middle Eastern, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then like he flipped it again. He's like, yeah. The people at Border Patrol said there's been no signs of that. And I'm like, yes, easily obtainable information, but of course on the other network they're gonna say all that happened.
No. Hey, but you know what's even more ironic is the fact that they keep saying about how much they've spent, but isn't Mexico supposed to be the one paying for that?
Right,
yeah,
right.
That simple fact they forgot, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this is
yeah, they forgot it.
You know what? I was listening to him talk about it. I'm sorry, I meant to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you good.
What's even more ironic is the fact that when you really look at the statistics, this wall isn't going to do anything.
No,
it doesn't. People come over here on visas and then they stay.
That's right.
They come over here legally.
They realize that it's too hard for them to continue to go back and forth on their visa, so they just stay here when it expires and then they head out.
Thank you, Jason.
They come in through planes over a wall or tunnels under a wall.
How dare you? No plane can get over that wall
with this wall.
Hey, now that plane can be stopped with freedom.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
Nah.
They're just gonna put a bunch of like angry eagles.
Some eagles
I was
they don't look
listening to
dead, though. Ain't too big for me.
I was listening to one of the guys on that side talk about it on his show, and they were playing clips from the president. And in a way, it almost sounded like he was asking regular citizens to go and stop these people.
Because those would be the idiots that do, the ones on 300 guns. They would go.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
There are farmers in the United States hire these illegals.
Oh, absolutely.
But they also have guys who've been here, you know, Mexicans or whatever, who have been Americanized, who go get them, the coyotes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then they force them into to work for the farmers who bought them across.
And construction companies.
So in construction and whatever. So you're fighting a losing battle because your own farmers are using the same people you're trying to keep out.
Buildings and homes won't get built. All that shit's gonna falter.
Not only that, if you go to any restaurant, look at any kitchen, I promise you there's a Mexican person in there, man. They cook every single type of food that we eat here.
You know, all our Chinese restaurants are gone.
Best fried rice.
Man.
Best Chinese restaurants gone. We gonna wake up.
Toastin said it. I thought it.
No Chinese restaurants.
I said that shit on Facebook. I said thank you for. Well, I would like to thank God for the Mexicans who make my shrimp fried rice.
Racism.
Hey.
Nah, that's a
I mean, and then
be good though.
The way, like I said, I listen to this stuff all the time. So the way they're making it sound is like they're the only ones bringing in drugs and guns and doing all the murdering and raping. But you don't realize that we got like 900,000 European people here illegally. People from Russia, which apparently we're cool with Russia now. Russia and
okay,
and people from China. You got people from Italy just here illegally. What are you going to do about them? Are you going to put a border at the beach?
They ain't got enough melanin, man. It don't matter. They pure.
And it's funny you talk about Russians because we went to Myrtle Beach this weekend. There were so many Russian women there.
Dang, Tyrell would have been
Waitresses,
happy.
hostesses.
Oh, you stupid.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Izzo with the moonwalk comment.
That'll be on the playback, people.
I'm deleting that.
Izzo be moonwalking through comments.
I'm just
My
saying.
bad.
But yeah,
Go ahead,
it's-
Sosa. My bad.
voting is still the big thing, and I confess that I was one of those ignorant people who didn't read much and didn't give a fuck about politics and said all the stupid shit like my vote don't matter until my father, who is an immigrant, but he's a naturalized citizen, and he said, "Why the fuck you not voting?" We fucking suffered in this country for years without being citizens, and we couldn't vote. And we had to go through all of this shit, and now we can. And the fuck if we're not gonna vote, and you're born here and you're not gonna vote. So yeah, I started reading. I started getting, like you said, you need to thirst for knowledge. And I didn't just get spoon fed. I went and looked for the answers, and
I think that's the good thing, because like you educated yourself on what's going on, and I think a lot more people are doing that. Like I said before, you got a lot more people knowing a whole lot more about politics than they did 4 or 5 years ago.
And it doesn't mean that using the media, using like TV channels and YouTube and articles online doesn't mean that it can't help you. Like, it's the gateway, but it's not the end all be all.
Right.
I was about to say, because man, there's a lot of wrong information online.
Yeah.
Al Jazeera.
A lot of that's the gateway. Like, I wouldn't know about anybody if it wasn't for probably YouTube and everything else. But the thing is, I can go read articles that are from reputable sources. I can go look at AP things that I know are verified and then figure that stuff out.
Right.
You people are intelligent, and you don't just take one opinion. You take different opinions. You take different sources, and then you draw your own opinion.
There you go.
Don't be fucking lazy.
But man, it's so much easier to listen to Fox News and be like, yeah, this is all good. This is right.
It's so easy to let somebody else give you dumbass ideas.
I don't think it's just that. It's not just that. It's the prejudice. It's the prejudice. You don't want to listen to them because they're backing those people,
right?
And we don't want to hear that shit.
And to be fair, I said Fox News, but that can go for any broadcast.
Oh
media.
yeah,
that's true, right?
Yeah, you took the words out my mouth on that one.
But Fox News is probably
but they're like the kings.
They're the worst. They're the worst. They're the absolute worst.
They're the prototype, though.
But I'm like I was saying, it's an immature mind. We all had, when we were doing stupid stuff when we were younger, we all had a group of friends that had us doing that dumb shit. Because we didn't have to think about anything to do. We just go out and we say, "What you want to do? Hey, let's go rob a bank." Oh shit, I'm down, because we didn't have to think about. I never
That's
robbed
what
a bank.
y'all did in Florence,
God.
So
there you go, Florence again.
We gotta bring this back. So you beat up Biggie. You threw a chair at Tupac.
I had a past, man. I had a past.
You had a whole hurricane that just wiped out North Carolina.
What?
I don't know where this is going.
What the fuck?
Hurricane Florence.
He went out about.
That was the name of it.
Right. He went out about 6 miles to get that one, but okay.
Okay.
We'll allow it.
It was a wide storm. All right, and then now
that was good.
For kids, y'all just go out and rob banks just for the hell of it. Just because one of your homies was like, "Hey, what you doing? We're robbing the bank."
What I'm talking about. Y'all wasn't doing nothing around town, so y'all thought about dumb shit to do.
I mean, you could have said you was like punching a cow in the udder or something, but you said you was robbing a bank.
Punching cows? Is that what y'all did in Orangeburg?
Hey, his high school is next to a patch.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm country as hell. That's what you gotta do.
Y'all went cow tipping?
Never went cow tipping.
I went to a high school game at his high school. I said, "There's literally a pasture next door. There's a Walmart next to my high school and a Publix. That's what's next to my high school."
Come on, Jason. Did you go cow tipping? Yes or no?
Hey man, don't worry about me. I ain't robbing no bank.
I see little Jason over there pushing over cows and shit.
Like Tommy
Run,
Boy.
motherfucker, run!
And then there's a cow staring at you.
And you know Jason was hip hop, so he probably had like the full cross color outfit on.
His pants was sagging, so he couldn't run.
He tried to run holding his pants up. Oh man, I wish I was young again. But anyway, yeah, this just vote. Just vote. That's it.
Don't
really
rob banks. Vote.
Yeah, vote. Don't rob.
Don't tip cows.
Yeah.
Don't punch cows in the eyes. Vote.
Let's see what we got here. Did Sosa leave?
Yeah, he out.
No, I'm here.
No, he just freeze framed on us.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like we were saying, voting is important. Do it. Shut up about it. Just vote. And if you ain't gonna vote, don't ever complain about the situation in your life.
Right.
Anything going on.
But more than that, learn the stance and the platform so you can vote.
Yeah,
correct.
Read
don't vote. I say don't vote straight ticket. I hate people that do that.
Right.
Explain that.
If you're Democrat, you just go mark Democrat.
Yeah, like you can go in there and hit that top button, and it'll let you know you confirm. Like you can go all the way down. No.
Yeah, I honestly think that's something that they should take off of a ballot.
They should make people work. I don't remember this person. Well, you should have fucking knew. If you ain't got enough sense to be able to vote, don't come there.
Yeah, well.
Shut up.
There are a lot of sheeps in wolf clothing out there.
No, what I'm saying is just because they're Democrat don't mean they're good, but
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think the push for midterms, like in certain areas, has been kind of late. So I would rather, I don't know. It's probably the wrong thing to say, but I would rather them vote all Democrat than try to figure out, back and forth between Republican and Democrat. I don't know.
So I don't identify as Democrat or Republican.
Me
or
neither.
Nothing. I don't think that any of us should ever like box ourselves into something like that.
I agree.
It should be all about the platform, the issues at hand, and who has the best plan to fix or counteract those issues at hand, period. And then we should all work together, no matter if you in the middle, far left, far right, the president that's a sleeper cell or not. It don't matter. Like we should all work together.
What?
He is. Good. I'm happy you said that, but he is. But
That's a good fucking label.
Yeah. That's absolutely the oops. I don't know.
Y'all think the president is sleeper cell?
Yes.
Putin's pussy.
So. I think he's a Manchurian candidate. I said that last time.
But he's one of those people that's so power hungry and loves the limelight. He forgets what he is, and he just likes the attention.
Like Hoffa.
Oh shit! And that's why he disappeared.
Yep.
Because he was the head of the Teamsters, right?
Yeah, he thought he was bigger than he was.
Yep, and we've never seen him since. Not we. I was dead, but not dead. I wasn't alive, but still.
Somebody saw him that last time.
This is my second life. No,
the guys from Detroit.
Detroit, what?
Detroit, baby.
I'm not gonna get into all of that.
No secrets. No secrets.
Hey,
but
Brian,
I think I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's smart enough to be like a Manchurian candidate. I don't give him that. But I do think he's standing in for somebody. Like Pence is probably back there doing everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I don't give him that much intelligence.
I think I personally think it was a man who honestly was like, I'm gonna put this on my bucket list because this dude talked noise about me, and he's like, oh shit, I won. Oh,
he literally like failed at everything in the middle and then made it to the top. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing.
Like
his wife wasn't even ready for this.
Like I think I think somebody like Bush too. I think he's a person who like there's literally somebody who's on the backside, just like like Dick Cheney. Like Dick Cheney practically was president.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was actually Senior who was president, but yeah,
no. It was Dick Cheney, and Dick Cheney was like pretty much one of the people who caused a lot of the bullshit. He was the weapons of mass destruction guy and all that. Like, yeah, Colin Powell was done with them after that.
He was like, man, y'all leave him. I could have been president.
I got two things to say. One, I could not stand Bush Jr. until after he was over his presidency.
Oh yeah, we all
And
used
then-
to hate him in college.
When he was no longer the president, that dude was funny as hell, man. He was funny as hell. I was like, yo, this guy is gold. And then number two, can we talk about T.I. and the first lady and that whole BS?
Oh
Dude,
shit, I
that shit
forgot
was
about that.
Oh man.
I
So-
forgot about that. Good point.
I
Does
meant it when
anybody
I
in her
said it.
camp-
Go ahead.
Huh?
Does anybody in her camp really think T.I. gives a good shit about any of their people
Thank you.
boycotting?
Yeah,
Him
exactly.
and his
I'm
music.
like, that was the most pointless boycott of all time.
I meant it when I said it on Facebook, and I think it got shared like 20 times. I
Mhm.
say, ain't nobody thinking about you. Don't nobody care.
You know what I thought
want.
about when I heard him say the
What?
boycott? It reminded me of CB4. I'm like, y'all said his name, and I bet you it's gonna be a little white boy that goes, T.I., I'm gonna listen to him, and puts on the hat. That's what it reminds me of.
Well, so-
Remember
so
when
what
Phil
bothered me
Hartman was
about-
the daddy?
I never watched
Man.
it before. I couldn't do it.
What? Oh,
I couldn't
man.
do it.
I saw a movie you did. God damn it.
You probably
what
saw
bothered me-
Woolworth too.
I have not watched that. No.
Really?
Yeah, me neither. What bothered me about that is how you have a supposedly, a first lady lookalike. Well, actually, I mean, I get it. I see it was pretty up there. I mean, it makes sense what he was trying to do. But she's dancing, provocative and whatnot. How you got the nerve to be upset about that when you was posing half naked
No.
prior to being the first lady, anyways?
Naked.
Yeah, she's the one outlier to where it's like, ain't that what you did? You
Right.
got a point. I agree, unfortunately, on that. But she's
That's
the first
almost
lady.
like Jada Fire being mad that people be disrespectful on her Instagram post.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
No, you
I'm
guys,
like, dudes
you don't
fat for you all their
understand.
life.
You don't understand. That's her past. She's in a different position now. She's a classy, well-dressed, FLOTUS. What we needed.
Oh,
Why did
I
your
thought
voice
you
get
talking
like
about
that,
Jada.
Huh?
Why did
The
your
fire
voice get
still
like that?
doing anything?
Not Jay Fire. Yeah, I follow
Oh.
her on Snapchat.
We know you do.
I'm
I
playing.
don't follow anybody like that on Snapchat. I'm afraid to open up my phone in public. Like, oh hell no.
But yeah, I didn't understand the whole thing either. Like she has like no say so, and I'm pretty sure anybody that didn't. I don't know if one of y'all said it, but anybody that's following her that closely, I'm pretty sure they don't listen to T.I.'s music.
Right.
Oh,
Nah.
I'm positive. So it's like
Boy.
no point.
So where do you think?
I bet you they listen to Kanye right now, though.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
they listen to him talking to Trump. I doubt they listen to his music.
See, this is where they get confused. She thinks that since Kanye's in their camp, her message of boycott T.I. is going to crawl across this bridge that they think Kanye created and hit this whole section of the population when it's
Don't
not.
speak for us, man.
There's no bridge between Kanye, them, and us.
The bridge to nowhere.
There's no bridge
That's
to
a dead end.
So it's pointless. It was pointless for her to even do that. If you don't like Kanye, say you don't. I mean, if you don't like T.I., say you don't like T.I. and shut up and keep moving.
Right.
Don't tell us not to like somebody because you're pointless to us. I hate to say it like that, but your opinion is pointless.
Think you hit the nail on the head, sir.
Yay!
Well done. Well done. Topic
Well,
closed.
Oh damn! I didn't mean to close the topic.
Oh,
All right, so we're gonna give y'all a sports section, y'all. Explain this thing that happened.
I guess the baby didn't want to hear that.
What you say?
Sports.
We're gonna talk about this NBA thing that's going on. This beef.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers had a game on Saturday night. And there was a brouhaha in the final minutes of the fourth quarter.
You said brouhaha.
Yeah.
But Rajon Rondo and Chris Paul got into it. Evidently, there was some hard fouls and a little jawing between them a couple plays before that. But pretty much they got in each other's face. And according to like the first clips that you see, it just looks like they were talking junk, and Chris Paul put his finger out to Rajon Rondo's face, and then like he punched him. It's like Rajon Rondo punched Paul, and it's like, okay, that's kind of strange. But then like on Instagram, people had the zoomed in version of it. It showed Rajon Rondo, being the bitch that he is, spits in Chris Paul's face.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. So and if you see on the backside of that clip, Brandon Ingram runs in and throws a haymaker.
Yeah, he does.
And just to let you guys know before we talk about it, Brandon Ingram was suspended 4 games, Rajon Rondo 3, and Chris Paul 2. And do y'all agree with those suspensions if you've seen the clips at all?
I do.
You do?
Yep.
Explain your position. I'll talk it then.
So again, who is the instigator of the whole thing?
Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he got 2 game suspension, right?
No.
That's Chris Paul got 2. And he's already served 1 because he sat out the game yesterday, I think.
He was all right. So Chris Paul was the person who got spat on, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
I'll wait. So you go first.
Okay, so Brandon Ingram got 4 games because he started the little, it was not really a scuffle, but he got into a ref's face and they pulled him away, put him to half court.
Correct.
So he's at half court. Around the free throw line, Rondo and Chris Paul start going at it. And that's when the spitting and the hand in the face and the punch happens.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Ingram comes from half court after LeBron James grabs Chris Paul to pull him away, starts throwing punches at Chris Paul and PJ Tucker. So that's why he got 4 games, because he was out of the action.
Right.
But he ran back into the action.
Yeah, I'm good with that one.
Rondo got 3 games?
Yeah, Rondo got 3.
He actually threw the first punch.
Yep.
Okay. Chris Paul got 2 because, he followed up. So
he should never mind. I'm gonna let you finish before I get my point.
Ever since the Malice in the Palace, the NBA has been really uptight about not their vision, their what they look like, their appearance.
Yeah, their PR. Their
PR. And they really they don't want to look like a bunch of thugs and this is and that. And I'm like, you motherfuckers raised us in the 80s. What the fuck are y'all talking about? But they're really particular about the kind of brand of basketball they want to, put out. And that hard defense, hard fouls, fighting is definitely not something that they want to, glamorize or glorify or whatever, or promote. So that's why they come down hard on it. And these suspensions are with no pay.
Correct. So, pretty much most times that money gets donated away.
Yeah. So, and up until recently, the only thing that's really been happening is somebody gets a push. There hasn't really been any punches thrown. When's the last time a punch has been thrown?
I couldn't even tell you. It probably was some last year, but none that was this big, I guess.
No, yeah, this was a pretty big.
And most of those punches we see is kind of like, did he throw a punch or didn't he? No. Right. Rondo clean out through a left because he's left-handed.
He snapped CP3 head back.
Yes.
So, do I agree with I agree with the actions of Rondo. I'm not a Rondo fan, but you put your hand in my face, I'm rocking your head back too.
But you spit in my man face first. Chris Paul should have been still fighting him right now.
Exactly.
Exactly. In the face, they should have just put a mat out on the floor and be like, y'all go ahead.
Like hockey. Let them drop their gloves. Let them go.
Should have had a Street Fighter announcer come in round 1. Fight.
You go in the penalty box. You bring your asses back out. That's how it goes. Yeah. You just can't have everybody fight. Let them go.
Right. I don't know. I agree with it. I think there should be all these so-called tough guys in the NBA. They need to just duke it out because y'all, it's time to find out who's really the man and who ain't. Is Draymond Green really a tough guy, or is he not?
They say he talk a lot of shit. I still ain't seen the moves yet. They say he's the leader of that team. I'll give you that, but I ain't.
He is. He's the emotional leader of that team.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
But that's just me. I'm not saying that I want every game to be a fight, but I want hard basketball. You know,
basketball in its roots is a very physical game.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah. So when you try to bring it to the limelight like they have been doing and try to keep people's hands tied, you're taking away from the game. I'm not saying, like you said, you shouldn't fight every game.
No.
But there's some physicality that they're trying to take away from it that you can't do and still have a quality product.
Right.
I mean, the greatest time in NBA for me is not like 93 through 97, 98. And that's when they was really just letting people play.
Oh, yeah.
Miami and New York series.
Everybody still remembers Van Gundy hanging on the Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It was brutal, but you had superstars. You had more than one superstar.
Hey, not to throw y'all off, question, because you know it was Miami and New York. Why didn't Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson didn't like each other? Because they used to play together. Like, what was up with that?
Just the rivalry. That just came with the rivalry.
Yeah, I just never knew what their beef was. Okay.
I mean, if maybe Bleacher Nation or Sports, whatever, Bleacher Report. Maybe
I might have seen one. Yeah, I'm gonna look for that.
I'm gonna look for that too. But I don't know. And back then when the superstars were getting into it, like I haven't seen LeBron James fight anybody. Every playoff series from 90 to 96, Jordan was fighting somebody. Or 98, Jordan was fighting somebody.
Well, Jordan, nobody gunning for him. Nobody wanted to take what Jordan had to dish out, and everybody wanted to be the one to take him down.
Right.
Yeah. So something was hard.
But everybody, I mean, I think maybe LeBron is, maybe he's babied, or maybe he's just 6'8", 280, and nobody want to fuck with him. I don't know, but
a little bit of both.
Nah, I'm sure people want to go at LeBron because some of those dudes, since they competitors, they hate that he's probably the face of the league and shit. I'm sure somebody want to rock him, but they know they ain't gonna want to catch that fine or suspension. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, it's Jordan rules when it comes to that stuff. They know you cannot go at him. You couldn't go at Kobe. You know you can't go at Steph. They the golden boys.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady in NFL, you breathe on him and your ass might not play the whole season.
Blackballed if you beat up Steph because everybody loved that dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what contract he signed with the devil, but
hey, that dude's already top 10 in all-time three-pointers made. Yeah. Like, think about that. He already has over 2,000 three-pointers made in his career.
That's crazy, man.
That's insane. Like Reggie Miller and anybody you think of, like he's pretty much past them or closing in. Yeah, he's only 30. Yeah, he's only 30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's only 30.
Yeah,
he's only 30.
His life.
Think about it. Vince Carter is 41 now and still starting.
Wow,
yeah, that's crazy.
That dude, he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, that's something's not right about that.
Who's Vince play for now? He was with the Raptors before, wasn't he?
He's with the Hawks.
Oh.
So he in Atlanta.
Mm. All right. Let's see what we got. Anybody had any shotgun topics they wanted to shoot out there real quick?
I got a quick one. Eric Reed, I liked his comment about Malcolm Jenkins. He said he sold us out. Did y'all?
What's that about?
Yeah.
So Eric Reed, if y'all know, he's the one guy who truly stood next to Colin Kaepernick when it come with the kneeling, because they both played for the 49ers at the time. So he got picked up by the Panthers a couple weeks back, and he's actually starting right now. And what happened yesterday, they played the Eagles. Malcolm Jenkins plays on the Eagles. So post game, he kind of reporter asked about how you feel about Malcolm Jenkins, because I guess they saw some jawing going on, because Malcolm Jenkins is one of the people who ended up being at the meeting where the NFL settled to donate $100 million to like the various ethnic charities. And that's and pretty much ever since then, it was like a kind of hush hush deal that Malcolm Jenkins, after that meeting, quit kneeling. So it's like that isn't all what everybody pretty much talked about what they were going to do. So it's like you settle for that $100 million and quit kneeling, and that's it. Like, you cool with everything? Like, everything's done, everything's over. So he kind of felt slighted. So he called his ass out in the press conference after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he wasn't really down for the cause. It's like he almost kind of took the PR campaign and, follow what the NFL said, and he kind of got painted as a good guy, while, Eric Reed, missed out on about a good year and a half of checks until, just recently the Panthers picked him up because he followed what his heart and what his mind told him to do.
Yeah, everybody ain't gonna roll with you all the way. I mean, they might go with you in the gym when you're shooting, but they gonna leave eventually.
What did Andre say? Everybody ain't down for the cause.
Right. You know what, man? The only thing about like that cause is like what's going to be the thing that says, you know what, like this problem has been resolved. Like, is there any like, I don't know, I guess the word is like,
is there anything to make everybody just go back to normal?
No, not everybody go back to normal, because technically what we have going on now is normal, or beforehand was normal. Now we're talking about like what is going to be the thing that is going to be the social response that is going to trigger this, like the resolution of this protest. Like, for example, like, with the bus boycott, after there was a change in the law, then people stop boycotting the buses. Like, what's going to be the thing that's going to be like, all right, we can stop kneeling now because A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. Like, those things have taken place. Like, what's that?
For me,
go ahead.
I would like the heads of the NFL, and if we can get the president to say it, I want acknowledgement that shit's going on.
Yeah,
and I want like a reform bill signed saying that we're going to go ahead and redo training for these police officers. We're going to do psych evaluations for these police officers. We're going to do gun training for these police officers, figure out who we got marching up and down our streets. So it'll start with acknowledgement for me.
For me, it's pretty much exactly what he said. But if anybody follows who these NFL owners are, most of these NFL owners are in that 0.00001 percentile when it comes to powerful people. Like Paul Allen just died. He was the co-founder of Microsoft. You got Jerry Jones, who was like an oil tycoon. You got all types of people like LinkedIn. It's like, these are the powerful people that can make things happen in America, because unfortunately, America moves with money. A lot of these people are pretty much leaders of PACs, political action committees who give money to presidential campaigns and everything else. It's like, you guys have all the power. All you got to do is acknowledge, and the money can move that way, and people can get trained. Things can happen. We can have programs for, minorities and stuff. But it's like, they're not acknowledging it's not happening. So nothing's happening. Like, these people have all the power. There's 32 owners that make a shit ton of money, got a lot of influence, and they just not acknowledging that these things are going on.
And not a little. It's not chunk change they make.
Oh no! Some of these people are literally a lot of these people on the lists of like the richest people like on earth. Like, these are people in charge of hedge funds. Right. Like, the Falcons owner is the guy who started fucking Home Depot. Like, people like that are owners.
Yeah. Do stuff and make stuff happen.
Thank you.
So you got an answer for that, Rich?
See, that's the thing. The unfortunate thing is that none of us are on the field.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I was to say something I would say, one, it would have to be acknowledgement, but then two, it would have to be some sort of, in the same vein as what Brian said, it's going to have to be some sort of like establishment of training, or just a way to combat the issue. And then, like, the sake of accountability being placed in whenever these incidents happen, because I think people also forget that it's not just a true black and white thing.
No.
You know, there is
socioeconomic, like Jason's been saying.
Socioeconomic, there's racial bias between white and white, black and black. Like it's not just, you know, a white and black thing. It's just that's the one that gets magnified. But there's definitely an issue when it comes to law enforcement and the training that they receive to be able to, you know, because even when I was in my previous capacity, you know, when I was working, you know, I actually went to, you know, they called it fair and impartial policing training. And, you know, which is actually to combat that bias, because everybody has a bias. It's just whether or not you choose to act on it. And I think that's the thing that's going to have to be the thing. The problem is a lot of that training is boring, to be honest with you. Like it just
boring.
it just, I mean, as terrible as it sounds, you know, we're talking about the livelihood of a person. I mean, it's, you know, I sat through that training and I mean, it's like, yeah, it's cool. Like it sounds nice, but like, how do you make that actionable? How do you say, hey, you know what? Everything you've been taught for the last 20 something years of your life about this racial demographic, oh yeah, that's completely wrong. They're totally different. And you have to train someone how not to do that. And it's unfortunate because it's just, there's no real way to say, I have to bypass my cognitive bias. The only way you really can do that is by exposure. And that's where some of it is. You can do some of it by policy, but if you still keep everybody separate, it ain't gonna make no difference.
Yep. Shit. I can go on and on about that, but we ain't got enough time.
Yeah, I feel you. And you know better than anybody, Rich, because like you said, you're on the inside of this.
Right.
So you know about the training.
Yeah, so anyway. It's like I just wonder, like at the end of the day, what's going to be the thing, you know, for these players that are doing it. And it's not saying, I mean, I think they're doing a great thing, but it's like, all right, so what's that thing? Because if no one really has any end in sight, you're just doing it because it sounds nice. I mean, I know some of them have like a mission and an objective, but it's like, is everybody on that same page?
You got to think about where these football players are coming from. Now, these guys aren't coming from the best situations in the world.
Oh, no.
So guys that are getting shot in the street by cops and getting choked out and beat up, these are their family members that they had to leave behind. So the way they probably feel guilty because they knew these guys were in these situations.
Damn, that's a good ass point.
Yeah, and it's just happening and they really can't do anything about it. They can't get involved.
I mean, but it's terrible because it's like, you know, we keep saying that we want to say, hey, have free speech, do whatever you want, but yeah, it's like, yeah, until it's like there's a caveat. You know, especially when there's money involved, you know, you can't get it. You can't put yourself out in that sense because, you know, hey, it's affecting your boss's bottom line, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, we'll, I mean, like I said, it'll, I think eventually, as to be honest with you, I think it's kind of being ignored now because we're not making noise about it anymore.
Well, we on the midterms. As terrible as it sounds, it's like it's nothing to I think the reality of it is that the people who aren't watching the NFL aren't going to watch. The people who are watching are still going to continue, and it must not have been that big of a delta to say maybe we need to do something different. They still getting their money, so apparently that's what moves.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
I ain't watching it because it just doesn't interest me in the first place, so it's cool.
Yeah. And before we leave for my last thing I want to bring up, fuck you, Netflix, for canceling Luke.
Wait. Chill out.
What?
You know there's a plan behind it. There has to be a plan behind it.
Oh,
yes. There's
what's
no
the plan?
You don't think Disney's gonna put it out?
No.
On their streaming channel?
Okay. The fact that they canceled Iron Fist is pretty. The fact they canceled Iron Fist and Luke Cage. If they cancel Iron Fist, you kind of be like, okay, they'll show up somewhere else. But they cancel Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
And Daredevil's still around, and just
we don't know now. Daredevil, they had this last season already filmed and
yeah, that's
out.
what I'm saying. I think they're gonna come back with like they're really gonna pull the streaming
service. I'm not doing it.
You say that now.
you have to purchase the Disney streaming thing?
You
Yes.
probably will.
Yeah. How many streaming services do you currently have right now?
One.
I mean,
Right now,
are you counting music into that?
well, no. See, I got Netflix. What is it? Spotify.
Google.
I don't pay for the Google thing.
I do.
Okay.
So and then
whatever
Amazon Prime, but
that's still technically a subscription service you're paying for.
It is, but I don't subscribe to them just for that. So
I mean, that's true. I mean, that's fair. So I mean, like at some point you're going to get the content that you want. You're going to wind up. It's like all they're doing is they're repackaging everything. Instead, you getting it a la carte instead of saying, "Oh, well, you're just going to buy Time Warner Cable and then be done with it."
They're already pulling Marvel stuff from, or they're not putting it. I'm sorry, they're not putting it out on Netflix no more.
Right. I wouldn't say that it's impossible. I don't think it's going to be. At least let me rephrase. I don't think it's going to be. It's not going to be the same show again. Maybe
Luke Cage did very well, so I doubt that they don't have a plan for it.
The same thing could be said about 7 Seconds too, because everybody liked that show and they canceled the shit out of it, and then decided,
yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, and then Netflix tweeted out once Regina King won that Oscar or Emmy. It was like, oh, congratulations to Regina King for winning the Emmy for 7 Seconds, and people were like, eat shit.
Right.
Yeah, that was bull.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because Netflix canceled it. I mean, because Disney's service is about a year and some change off. So I mean, you might be right. I mean, I'm not saying because that's definitely in the realm of possibility. I just don't like Netflix cancels things because reasons, and I think that could be one of them. Like the Incredible Kimmy Schmidt. I mean, they canceled that show, but I think they're like trash. They split that in this like 2 halves of a season or something. But
you need to split it in 2 different shows to get that black dude off of it.
Say what now?
The dude that was in it, he messed up the show. It became about him. So
Titus.
Yeah.
I mean, it did kind of run its course with Titus's like storyline, but I still thought the show was hilarious.
It was before Titus became just the central part of the show.
Then that would almost then the same thing could be said about Family Matters and Urkel, because basically it became the Urkel show after like a few seasons.
Yeah,
it became a thing.
Oh, that show would have been gone if it didn't become that. It's pretty much what they said.
Yeah, basically. But anyway, our hearts and minds are clear.
Yes, sir.
Apparently.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us. Get us here on the company. If you want to reach us, all of our Twitter handles are on our social media sites, which include SoundCloud. You can reach us on there by looking up
the company podcast.
On Google Play Music, you can find us on there by looking up
company.
And on iTunes, you can look us up.
The company podcast.
Yep. And here on the live YouTube. We're also on Podbean. You can find us by looking up the company and then searching. And we're the big yellow. Like I said, if you can find that, hit me up. I'll give you a link. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much for joining us, everybody who came in and out. And we'll be back next week with more topics and more randomness. But again, thank you for letting us keep you company. Peace.